Hi, you're listening to the Landscape Ontario podcast. I'm your host, Scott Barber. On this episode, I am joined by Pam Cook and Carla Bailey to talk about women in landscaping. Based in London, this group is doing amazing things to support women in the horticulture profession. That is coming up next. So Carla and Pam, could you both tell us a little bit about what the Women in Landscaping group is? How did it start? What do you want people to know about the group? Who wants to start? Yeah, sorry, Pam.
I'll start. It's all good. Yeah. So it started in 2018 when a group of us within the industry acknowledged a need to support women and to support newcomers into our industry, that there was sort of a disconnect with women who maybe are the only woman in a group or the only woman in a crew who didn't have that camaraderie or didn't have that group of people to share with.
For sure. And actually, maybe I'll step back just a little bit and ask if you could just tell us a little bit about yourselves. Maybe that's where I should have started, but we'll back up a little bit and maybe start with you, Carla. Could you tell us, how did you get into the profession and a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, it's coming into landscaping is very kismet for me. It was not what I went to school for. It was not what I was expecting to do. And then life changed a little bit, and all of a sudden I met Landscape Ontario probably about 11 years, maybe 12 years ago. And I started doing chapter coordination in the London chapter, which introduced me to some really interesting business people that thankfully saw some potential there. And 10 years on, I do the human resources for TLC Landscaping. I sit on the London board now. As opposed to being their coordinator, and obviously have started groups such as Landscape Ontario. Sorry, let's try that again. Started groups such as Women in Landscaping with a small group of friends, which is pretty cool.
And Pam, what about yourself?
So I started my landscaping industry experience as a Fanshawe student, actually. So I took the horticulture program, was really involved as well with Landscape Ontario with the student chapter, as well as on the local board, worked my way up through. I'm just obsessed with the green industry, be it landscaping, be it design, be it trees, plants, plant healthcare, you name it, it's my jam. And nothing makes me more excited than to be able to participate in it and share my excitement with what I do with other people. So that's kind of where the Women in Landscaping thing came together, finding like-minded individuals who were just as excited about our industry and wanting to share our passion and our love for it, and making sure that it gave people the opportunity to stay and retain and know that there's a long-term career and other people that have shared experiences and shared opinions on the industry.
For sure. For sure. Could you talk, maybe Pam, start on a little bit about what is, what does that look like over the last few years since the group was launched a few years ago? What are some of the things that it does, or what are some of the events that take place?
So we started out with just a small group of folks. Actually, at Fanshawe College was our first event. And we invited all the students as well as all of our industry leaders that we knew to come and join us, and just to have a really heart-to-heart conversation about what it meant to be a woman in our industry and what it meant to support each other. And to, the beautiful thing was it was all walks of our industry, from all industries, but also from entry-level students coming in to professionals who have gone through the last 20, 30 years of their career, and to come together to share experiences, to have a speaker come in. Sally Harvey was one of our first speakers, actually, to come in and share with the group what it meant to be a woman and growing up through this industry and developing their career. And since then, we've done a number of meetings together. We've done plant walks together. We've done youth engagement events as well, where we've done a touch a truck, where we engage with the youth in our area and brought thousands and thousands of kids and parents together to experience what it meant to be in our industry. So kind of the whole gamut of of what it means to be in the industry, really.
Very cool. And for you, Carla, what kind of experience, what have you taken from your experience with the Women in Landscaping group over the last few years?
It is a ridiculously supportive group of people. Pam touched base on, we have everywhere from students to business owners 30 years into their business. And the honest truth is you sit around the table and everybody there wants you to be successful. So if there is a question, there might be 75 answers, which is kind of unheard of when you think about, traditional capitalism and traditional running your business. It becomes very insular, where this is, how do I ask my boss this question? How do I go to my team leader and ask for more responsibilities? How do I, expand my horizons? Because not a lot of people in general know the scope that the industry is. And when you are traditionally an underrepresented group within an industry that not a lot of people know about, you're not getting a quarter of that information. So to be able to sit in that room and hear all sorts of different walks of life and different histories, different paths that they want to go on to, it's such a supportive group. It really is.
Pam, could you tell us a little bit about what it's like being a woman in the landscape industry? Carla just mentioned, traditionally been a bit more underrepresented overall in landscaping and horticulture, in trades in general. What has your experience been like throughout your career in horticulture and landscaping?
Honestly, it's been absolutely incredible to participate in our industry. It's a really engaging group of people. There are so many facets to what we do and so many different ways that we can utilize our talents. It's not one of those careers where you come in and you're going to do the same thing for your entire career. There's so many different avenues you can take based on your skills, based on your experience, but also based on your wants and your hopes for your career. I think that that's probably the most incredible thing about this profession, and being a woman in profession is knowing that there's such a great support group here, but also within industry. And like Carla said, I just want to say it again, it's everyone wants you to do well. Everyone wants you to bring the industry up and be better. So I think that that's probably one of the most amazing parts of being a woman in this profession, is just the scope of work that you can do, that the sky's the limit. You're the only person holding you back from succeeding.
And how about for you, Carla? What has your experience been like over the last 10 plus years, I guess?
Right. I come from it obviously a little bit differently than Pam. Pam had wanted to be in this industry. I didn't know about this industry. So there was a lot of, wide-eyed in the early days of, oh, okay, this is what this means. And, learning from the technical language up to, the slang that gets used. When I look back, would I change anything? Absolutely not. The opportunities that are out there for people that hustle, people that want the opportunities, is pretty much limitless. If you want to go that educational path, there's so many different opportunities there. If you want to eventually move into management, move into ownership, there's so many groups that you can lean on. It really is it's a very large industry. It's a $1 billion industry in the province of Ontario. However, it's a very tight knit. People know each other. People try to support each other, which is not traditional. So I think it's a fantastic hole I fell into 10 years ago.
And Pam, what would you say to somebody that's listening that might think, hey, this might be something I want to look into or get involved with? What would you tell them specifically about women in landscaping?
I would say, don't let anything hold you back. Don't look at things as a limitation. There's lots and lots of different resources and in how you get into this industry and where this industry can take you. Ask questions, get in there, call up local companies, call up local organizations, Women in Landscaping, Landscape Ontario. There's so many people out there that are willing to share their knowledge and share their excitement for this industry. And the first thing you have to do is ask just a little bit. There's really there's really no one out there that wouldn't support someone trying to enter this industry. I mean, we're looking at a situation where we do have labor shortages, and we want to attract people into trades and industry. And the last thing any of the business owners or trade organizations out there are going to do is say no to somebody who wants to be here and wants to learn about it. So that's the first step, is just come in with a great attitude and excitement for what you want to learn. Put yourself out there and tell people what you're looking for. And I bet you people will just come running in to help you and support you here.
I love that. Yeah, don't be afraid to take some initiative, ask some questions, and people by and large are going to be very supportive. As you said, there is nothing but a need for people coming into the profession, and there's programs to help, whether it's the Grow program through Landscape Ontario, whether it's through apprenticeship. There's lots of ways to get your foot in the door. So don't be afraid if you're new, and if you're already in the industry. What would you say? Already in the profession, Carla, what would you say to somebody that might be thinking, hey, is this group, this Women in Landscaping organization, or is it for me? What would you tell somebody that's wondering about getting involved in the group?
100% it's for them. When we sit down and, obviously pre-COVID things were a little bit different. The events we were having, ranged from career path, ranged from education, ranged from, design skills to human resources skills. So there's so much that you could learn from, the speakers that we bring in, the community that we have, the people at your table. But it's also, what can you take back to your group? Do you have a group to go back to, right? Currently, Women in Landscaping is a grassroots organization. We are based in London, Ontario, and we're making sure that we're well structured there before kind of rolling out to whatever that might look like. But we're more than happy to talk about, do you think your community can host this, and how can we help you do that yourself, right? So, talk to us, ask the question, ask any question. We'll give you whatever we can.
That's great. Are there any plans? Obviously, COVID has made getting together in groups a challenge. And are there any plans or any goals in the sort of near term for the group?
So,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we can both answer this because we're all really excited. I mean, we just want to get back to being in front of people. We want to get back to engaging as much as there's some pretty amazing technologies that are in front of us that we can utilize. It's still not the same as that being in person, networking, participating with one another. But yeah, we are definitely hitting the ground running this summer. We are excited to announce we're actually going to do a touch a truck for this summer, and a central location, same expectations as before, if not bigger and better. It's free to the public, it's free to our community. And what we really want to do is just get in front of people and educate and provide knowledge about what we do, what equipment's out there, what careers are out there, and that everyone is absolutely welcome. Get some kids on trucks, get messy, get dirty, honk some horns, and engage in our community. So that is going to be coming up in July. We have a new, bigger venue, and we're just looking forward to that. And then we've got some other things in the works for some in-person events for our community and our network. We don't really have exact details to share on that yet, but our Touch a Truck this year is going to be bigger and better than ever, and we're looking forward to it. And we want to thank Landscape Ontario for their support as well, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Fantastic. I'm very excited to hear that, and hopefully I can bring my girls, my 9-year-old daughter and my 5-month-old daughter, to come and touch the truck as well. So look forward to that. Carla, where can people sort of follow Women in Landscaping and keep in touch and keep track of events that are coming up?
Best place is going to be on our social media, on Facebook and on Instagram. If you just search for Women in Landscaping, and obviously afterwards Scott will provide you with the appropriate links. Full disclosure, obviously COVID, it's been quiet for a little bit there as we've been focusing on our families and our immediate needs. But as more information comes out for our July Touch a Truck and then our future education sessions, all of the information will be there for people.
Perfect. And I know Landscape Ontario, will be, sharing on our website and in our email newsletters and such as well. So definitely keep an eye out for that event in the summer and more events. And if you want to get in touch, I take it probably those social channels would be a good way as well. Perfect. Anything else you want to share, or should we leave it there? And hopefully the folks listening will, come out to that event in the summer and keep track of the organization as it continues to grow. I think we touched on it all. Unless there's anything else, I just want to say thank you so much, Carla and Pam, for sharing a bit about this really cool group and a bit about your stories too. Really appreciate that.
Thanks so much for taking time.
My pleasure. Take care.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you for listening to Landscape Ontario podcast. We hope you'll subscribe to get a new episode every month.